What is going on? What is going on? Everybody in the house, what is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning.
I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up.
What's going on? What is going on? Check, check. What is going on? It is Wake Up in... It's Tech Thursday, DJ Tech Thursday. We're only doing an hour today because, first off, I had a really late start. Doing a lot of stuff for the office, doing a lot of stuff for the car, and for the family. So, I had a very, very long night. As a matter of fact, I had to build this table last night. It's not done. I mean, it's done, but as you can see... What's this? What's this? So, built a nice little, I I mean, I did build it, but it's from a company that took care of me to handle it. So we're down a little more. So my office is in kind of disarray right now, in all honesty. I have, hold on. Nobody told me there was still music going on. I have been wanting a standing desk for a long time. So a couple of new things. Well, this lens is actually new, but it won't be on here for this vlog, as you can see. Got a nice little zoom on here. This is my first zoom on my Sony a7 IV. I'm excited about it. Doesn't really serve a purpose in here because, well, this is a fixed area, so I can just keep my normal, thing on here because I think I'm even running too high right now. Even my ISO is too high. I need to change that. Tech Thursday, what is going on? I see a couple people in here. Silent Killer, Phil Mobile Sounds, and my guys, Crate Hackers in the building. Good to see you guys. Thanks for hanging out today. Let's see if I can drop this ISO because we are running super hot right now. Not super. Hold on. Let me just take care of this because that's going to drive me nuts. Hold on. All right, that is even darker than I anticipated. All right. Nope. All right, happy medium. My other lens is a 1.8, so I don't have any problems in darkness, but this one is an f4, so it requires a little more light. So we're gonna make it work today, but it is what it is. We'll adjust it later. Anyway, it's Phi, not Phil. Sorry, man. Things happen. Things happen, but sorry, Phi Mobile Sounds. So today is Tech Thursday. We got Ruben in the building. That's one of my members. So if you're not a member, you can see what happens when Ruben's in the building because he gets definite notice because his text is all in green. Makes it easy for me to see and spot him. He supports the channel and I appreciate everything because, costs money to do these things. So any help is always appreciated. My time is always appreciated. Time is money. So thank you guys for hanging out today. This is just going to be about 45 minutes. It's going to be in and out because I got to be done by 12 o'clock. I have I got a photo shoot with my daughter. So I got to go take some photos of her. So not that I don't want to do it. I appreciate doing it, but sometimes it's set up at inconvenient times. But, I guess technically your kids are never inconvenient. So they say. Okay. All right, let's check out some questions here because this is Tech Thursday. So if you have any questions, go ahead and throw that hashtag ask in the chat. That way I can see it. Like I said, we're going to be flying through things, so probably won't be as wordy as normal. Probably won't be. But we will get through it. Okay. I did not produce the artist on my intro. I got it from a company called Epidemic Music, where I get all my music from my YouTube content. And so I found it. It works really great for my wake up show, which I am bringing back. But this show is going to be changed to definitely just DJ Tech Thursday. So I'm going to change everything. I do love the wake up, it doesn't really make sense for DJ Tech Thursday. It just looks good. So just a couple of little modifications. Plus, I gotta update some stuff. So we will have that happening shortly when I do have time. That is not a priority for me. I'm going to be honest with you. It's just something that I need to do. I will do it at some point. Okay. DJ Reese says, I like your review on the 3 subwoofers. I really like your review on the QSC 118. Thank you so much. That's a statement, not an ask, but either way, I appreciate that. Thank you. Rick Reddy in the building. Herman Gopez, what's going on from Puerto Rico? Thanks for hanging out. Adrian says, you always lived in Ventura County? For the most part. We moved here with my family when I was about, 8 years old, somewhere around there. So then I lived here until I graduated high school. Then I moved out to Thousand Oaks, where I lived for a little while. I bought a condo out there, and then, life happens. You get married, and I came back to see me because the houses were cheaper than they were in in Thousand Oaks. I could get more house. So the rest is history. The rest is history. Ruben says, XDJ-XZ is my main device, but I'd like a second for additional setup. I'm between a 1000 SRT and the Prime Go. Suggestion: second setup can be ceremonies or after parties. Well, I mean, I think they are two different things. 1000 and the Prime Go, both excellent devices, but the 1000 still requires a computer, still requires power. Has a better mic EQ setup situation because it does have. I mean, both the 1000 and the Prime Go have 2 mic inputs, but there's no EQ on the Denon Prime Go. That's it. As far as weak links go, that is the weakest link of the Prime Go. There's no EQ. So you'll have to bring either one of those small like Boss EQs that you can funnel the XLR through. That's the best option. But the one thing, because you're talking about ceremonies and after parties. So ceremonies, the Prime Go is going to give you more area to work with because it is battery powered. So you can take that and put it anywhere. Like I said, it's a very, very small footprint because everything is in the box. So if you have all the music already set up for your ceremony, you just throw it on an SD card and you're good to go, or even a USB stick, and you can have that anywhere. The footprint is, I got one right over there. Footprint's this big, So it's a backup. So I would definitely side more towards the Prime Go as a backup / ceremony, cocktail. After party is relative because it depends on how much you're DJing. If it's like a legitimate after party where you have to, show yourself, which you can do on a Prime Go. It's not the same though. It's not the same as being on like a 1000. So I would side more on the Prime Go over the 1000. But just an opinion. It just depends on what you're doing though. Okay. Miss I think that's I don't want to pronounce it correctly or incorrectly. Miss Gel P. Okay, we'll go with that. Can you give your opinion on the new Pioneer XPRS2 12s and VEC? I gave my opinion. So there's a video. There's a video. If you're asking about the difference between the DRM is a different speaker, in my opinion. I think the DRM 18 is louder than the Pioneer, but it's also considerably larger and considerably heavier. The 12s, I'm going to use them this weekend. I did use the 10s. I think in general, I think that the highs sound better than the Mackies. but I think that the DRN sub specifically is louder, has more output, and it should. It's got far more wattage. The DRM is going to be louder. Now, the bass isn't as clean. It isn't as tight. There's a little more bleed over. There's a little more vibration that you're going to get, but it's still it's a very good one. Now, if size is an issue, and I'm going to use the 18s this weekend, on Saturday night. I'm actually bringing them to a party, so I'll have my definite answer on that system on Monday or Tuesday. What I don't have, which is unfortunate, because when Pioneer sent me all the product, they asked me, what do you want? And I knew, I'm like, oh God, they're sending me speakers. This is going to be heavy. It's going to be a lot of stuff in my house. And I just kind of was like, okay, send me the 18s, send me the 12s, and then send me 110 because I just wanted to use it as a monitor and hear how it sounded. Now I really do love the 10s. I think the 10s are a great speaker. But so in my test this weekend, I'm going to test them 2 weeks in a row. First test is on the 15s, which will happen this weekend. The second test is on the 18s, but they will both be using the 12 highs. Now, it's not really that big of a deal because you just turn the volume down on the highs and it's going to be similar or pretty much the same, but still, that is a little bit of an issue. But as far as the Mackie the Mackie sub that's not a DRM, I don't think any of those are worth it. Any of them. I think you'd be better off buying a completely different sub. So, yeah, but price wise, I know they're pretty close in price, but it's it's size. It's there's so many things when you're buying product that come into play. I still haven't bought my system. I think I've settled on the QSC, K12s, 0.2s in the 118, but I still haven't had a true experience with RCF. Now, the problem with RCF is costs. Not on the highs. I know the highs are pretty close to the QSCs. The problem is their subs, because the subs that compete with the 118 are so much more expensive, and that's a problem. And if I don't get the pure quality, like I said this last week, I'll say it again this week. Too many people out there with their speakers are always given these kind of absolute positions. Oh, the only choice is this. The only choice. No, it's not. It's not the only choice. Stop acting like there is not one perfect speaker. I mean, there probably is, and I guarantee you it's some guy hand making it in his house, and that's perfect. He's chosen the woofer and the amplifiers and the cabling and all the connections. That's not what any of these companies are doing. So if RCF is just a little better, nah. I'm not paying for it. My buddy said he was using the RCFs in Vegas and they had the 12s, and he said, "Oh my God, they hit so loud." I'm just like, I've heard the 12s. They do sound good. They're actually amazing for the size, but there's no way they hit as loud as a 118. There's no way. Anyway, that's just an opinion though. Okay. Phil Mobile with the 199 super chat. Phi Mobile. See? Now you're going to take it back. Phi Mobile. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Jeff Wick says, CT, for the weekly stream, I'm brand new. Thank you. Okay. I already have speakers, but don't like the sound. Would you make them last a year? Would you make them last a year and buy lights, or buy new speakers and save the lights for... Okay. Well, you have to explain why you don't like your speakers, because there's a lot of issues, but the most important issue to me is how they sound. if they sound good and you're rocking parties with them, then yeah, I don't know. I don't think that I would buy speakers if my speakers were good. Now, if you don't like them because they're too heavy or they're cumbersome or they're big or they're unattractive or they're, for whatever the reason may be, that's different. And if they just don't sound good, I mean, definitely upgrade your speakers. Speakers are far more important than lighting is. It's far more important. It's probably the most important thing that you can have in your system. Your facade can look ugly. You could be a questionable DJ, but the sound that's coming out, if it sounds like trash, nobody's hanging around. Nobody's hanging around. So there's that. Philip Tan in the building. What's going on, fam? Pablo Miami also in G Money. What is going on? Chico Belly. Good to see you. Okay. I think I'll buy the Prime Go first and eventually get the SRT or whatever they replace. Why does he always call me when I'm... Yo. I'm on my Tech Thursday. You never remember that. Tech Thursday.
You got too many things, bro.
Tech Thursday has been here for 3 years, since 2020.
I don't be keeping up with your stuff.
Mm-hmm. Say hi to the crowd. I'll call you back after. I'm gonna do one of them, so I don't know which one now. All right, peace. Okay, I think I'll buy the Prime Go first and eventually get the SRT or whatever they replace it with. Yeah, I would do that. Again, there's nothing wrong with either one of them. And as far as the 1000, as far as DJ equipment goes, it's one of the lightest full featured controllers out there. Is the 1000. Okay. Tech 9. Have you heard of any major issues with the build of the Prime products over time? I'm on my second Prime Go and having issues with static and all outputs. Very disappointed. I have had my Prime since 2020. I've not had a single issue with it. So, if there is static in your outputs, you might have dirty pots. You might have dirty connections. Take some of this. Take some of this. Deox it. Spray your pots. Spray your outputs, and see if that fixes it. But your pots it's probably more likely. Okay. Samuel Patterson says, is there any drawback or value if I only go with one good sub versus two okay subs? Yeah, so I would definitely have one good sub versus two, because one good sub is going to sound just as good as two okay subs. So you're actually probably paying more money for the two okay subs that aren't providing anything extra, versus getting just one good sub. A friend of mine bought the KS 118, and she only has one sub. That's all she could afford, and that thing hits like crazy. So one sub, definitely. Hold on, let me see here. The drawback, that was the next thing. No drawback to having one sub. The only drawback is its placement. So obviously with two subs, I mean, they pretty much act as glorified stands for your highs. So, which means you're going to need one pole. It looks a certain way. I would probably suggest instead going with two poles for your highs and then putting the sub like right in dead center. Multiple subs will take up more room in the car too. You know what? That's okay. I mean, again, I'm buying two KS 118s because I do parties that are 250, 200, 300. It's okay. That's why I bought a bigger truck, so I could hold that second sub. And yeah. Anyway, if your speakers don't look good, just cover them up with the scrum. That's funny. Um, you don't even have to do that. I mean, you can put your speakers. I mean, like you can put your sub if you really wanted to. You could put that right underneath your DJ setup, or right in front of it, and have the scrim facade come out a little farther. They won't even see the sub. The bass goes through the scrim, so you can hide away that way. Dylan says, any word on Pioneer DJ releases? No, because I have an NDA, so I have no words. But everybody at a certain point in time will release new gear. That is my very, very ambiguous way of saying, gear is going to come out. Every company is going to release new gear. At what time is the question? But gear will come out. Pioneer DJ will have gear. In music will have gear. Speaking of in music, we know that they just came out with their Mixstream Pro 2.0, basically. I know somebody was asking, tell me about that. Should I buy it? There's absolutely no real difference in the Mixstream Pro 1 versus 2. The only difference is the Mixstream, the new generation, allows for Amazon Music. That is the only difference. So if that's the only reason that you, like, if you're like an Amazon Music person, then fine. It's a good time to buy it. But if I already owned it, I would not update, because there's nothing new to it. But if you're into Amazon Music, there's that. Okay. I'm just going to say Ninja. Can you explain to DJs that Serato 3.0 doesn't make you a better DJ? I think I have before. I mean, look, I think it's self-explanatory. I think there's a time and a place to use stems, and stems should not be used on every single song. There's a place. I think the best place to use stems is in transitions, because again, you can remove that bass line, you can remove those high keys, you can get rid of all that stuff and just keep the drum and the vocal, and your mix is going to be fantastic. Mashups, if that's what you're into. I've seen a ridiculous amount of mashups. Some work, some definitely do not work. Just because a song is in the same key does not mean that it works together. Just because you made an acapella. Sometimes they just don't work because of the cadence of the artist, the singer, the beat patterns of the music. But people do what they're going to do. Hey, look, it works. No, it doesn't. And I got to step back and be like, must not type, and just let it go. Okay. Pioneer is taking their time. Yeah, Pioneer had a very slow year last year. Very, very slow year. So it stands to reason that this will be a better year. It can't be any worse. So let's just leave it at that. I'm trying to reload, looking at four Rain 12, trying to bring back my Techniques 1200 fill. Is that possible? Yeah. I mean, the 12s are very good, or good turntables. Look, if Jazzy Jeff's okay using them, I think you should be too. Okay, let's see here. I mean, because I didn't get one. I didn't even ask for them to send me one. I'm talking about the mix stream. Let me just make sure. Hold on. Let me check the powers that be. What is his name? Oh, there is one thing. I knew there was one thing. The Mixstream Pro now supports Serato also. That's where your 150 is going. You can now use Serato. So for a lot of people, that's going to be a huge win for them. That's what it was. And I'm like, I know there's one other thing. So there you go. Okay. Mario says, how do you determine how many speakers to bring to an event? Do you base it on the size of the room, people, what clients pay for? So it's a combination of all of those things. The size of the room is one thing. The sound ordinance is another. You know, I have a couple of venues that could take larger speakers, but their sound ordinance won't allow me to go over like 85 decibels. So what's the point of bringing humongous speakers if I can't use them? So, um, number of guests, definitely important. Size of room, equally important. I mean, that's pretty much the basics right there. That's the basics. Mine's a number. So like you guys know that I have a Bose L132 setup, and I have an SRX setup, a JBL SRX, soon to be QSC, maybe. But if I'm in a room, if my party is 75 to 130, even 150 if the room is small enough, I will bring my Bose without question, because it's easier. It's far more convenient. It's just a much just easier setup for DJs. If my party is 150 and higher and I am at a larger room, then I'm going to take my SRX system. So, I'm a big fan of having two. My partner is, like I've said this before, he has the SRX system too, but he's got the 900s, and he's like, oh, well, if the room is too small, I just take one sub and one high, or I'll just take one high. That's fine. I like things to be a little more uniform. So, I don't want to just have one speaker. It just seems weird. It feels weird to me. Just to me, everybody's different. So, what works for him works for him. Doesn't necessarily work for me. So I would prefer to use my Bose instead. But yes, room size, I am not the same person, because I know there have been arguments are like, well, if the room is humongous, you must bring your humongous speakers, even if there's only 60 people in the room. I don't subscribe to that. I don't. I think that's dumb, because no matter how big the room is, the sound, it's not like they're going to take those 60 people and spread them across that entirely large room. So now everybody's like, hello, hello, hello. Like, that's not the case. They're going to keep everybody close. They're going to push everybody closer to the dance floor and not worry about that back area. So if there aren't that many people, I'm taking my Bose. I don't care about the size of the room, and budget. If they don't have a lot of money, I don't care what room you're in. You're not paying for me to have to kill my back or lug something up or rent a van. I'm not doing all that, so just an opinion. Okay. Have you heard of any new Rain mixers coming out? NDA. But I can be honest on this one, because I have not heard of anything. So no mixers. Not that I've heard of. And I know they need a 72. I know they still need a 72 update. Some people will swear by the 72 and say that it's perfect. So for a lot of people, they don't. I'm a big fan of the Rain 70, which is conveniently enough right here. I'm a big fan of this one. But I've always said I do like the S11 over the Rain 72, and any day of the week. But it's still fine. I had to use it when I went to Texas. It's still fine. Does the job. I just prefer the S11. Okay. Okay. Any information about the new mixers, V4 or V5 by Pioneer DJ? I don't even know what you're talking about. V4, V5. I don't know what that means. Because they don't have a V3. Anyway, again, NDAs. You guys know that I have NDAs. But having said that, I have not heard of anything coming out. Mixer wise, I mean, look, in all honesty, it's pretty hard to they just released the S11 came out in 2020. The S7 came out following year, or was it early 22? It was I think it was late the following year. Which the S7, which is a great mixer. It's a great, mixer that has gone above the S9. And then in 22 they came out with the S5. What else do they need? They've released a mixer every year. So yeah, if they could update the S11, there's not much they need to do, in all honesty, to that S11. So I think, yeah, probably not coming out with a smaller V10. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think what they'll do is they'll do what they always do. They'll incorporate some of the features from the V10 into because look, I mean, I guess they do need a new 900. They need one of those. So I would assume they would just incorporate that into whatever mixture they come out with. It'll just be a cheaper version. They pick and choose what goes over there and what doesn't. I think, but yeah. But again, that V10 is an animal. All right, we only have 20 minutes. This is the fastest show ever. Okay. What's a good software to use for visuals for TVs? Any of them. Virtual DJ has video. DJ has video. Serato DJ has video. You can go outside of it. I forget what that software is called, but it's the one that everybody swears by. Mix Emergency. That's if you were looking for like the best one. Supposedly, I have never used it, but Mix Emergency is the best one. Okay. Okay. I just switched from Rekordbox to Virtual DJ. And how can I move my folders? You're going to need if you're talking about your playlist, you're going to need some sort of a outside company like Mixmaster G's digital conversion utilities. That's a great one. There's also what is the one that starts with an L? Lexicon. Lexicon will do that. Lexicon is a subscription based. It's like, I don't know, $10 a month. Just visual. Yeah, if it's just visual, Mac Attack is right. There's Resolume. Those are all great programs. I don't really do a lot of visuals. Ivan in the building. What's going on? Good to see you, fam. Do you think Pioneer will come out with a new version of the 1000? Jesus Christ. Get here early, people. At some point, yes. Yes, they will. Because it's old and it's time for an update. So let's do that. Alyssa Love, feeling good today. I'm glad you're feeling good. I'm feeling good too. Okay. Let's see here. Who else we got here? Remzo in the building. Evening, Terry. Are you still using the Rain, and do you run with a PA mixer? That has got to be the number one question. Okay, I don't know which Rain are we referring to, Remzo? Let me know, because that does make a difference in how I answer. In all honesty, not yes and no. Okay, so I'll just answer all of them real quick. So, I still have the Rain 1. I don't use it as much because I have the Rev 7. So the Rev 7 is my go-to controller. If I happen to bring, turntables in a mixer, I will bring either my Rain 70 or my S11. So yes, I have all of those. However, here's my take. Take it how you will. And I got something in my eye and it's driving me nuts. Take it how you will. I don't bring mixers for powered speakers. Why? Because all of my powered speakers have crossovers in them. All of the mixers and controllers I use have microphone preamps that are very good. Sorry. So I don't feel a need to have a mixer just because, so I am not, I am not of the mindset that you need it. A lot of people bring mixers because they want to affect the sound, because they want to have a backup. Like they'll have like a, an iPhone plugged in, or maybe even another controller plugged in. Their microphones will go in there because they want to have a better EQ. I get that. I just don't personally find it necessary. Now if I'm having, one of these like, lower quality or lower version, like a mix stream or like even the Pioneer, the Flex 4 or something like that. Yeah, then I will bring a mixer because there's no way to EQ the microphone. The microphones are just okay. The outputs are questionable. So then I would run it through something else, but not on these higher end, pieces of equipment. I just don't personally think it's necessary. Just an opinion though. Okay. Let's see here. Boogie down in the building. What is going on? Okay. Tensai Tech. I just bought the Rain one today. I'm currently setting it up. As I type, I keep getting the fail to connect audio error. Any insight on this? My guess is you're probably using a MacBook, and you probably skipped that little thing that said allow access to the driver, which is why you're getting a fail to connect. So now you have to go through and actually manually allow the driver to work. 15 minutes. Do I have time to show where that? Oh, I don't even know if you're using a Mac. So that's the first thing. Let me know if you're using a Mac. Brandon, Cleveland, have any planned? I own a pair of them, fine players, but if you're turntablist, you might find them way too loose compared to DVS. I have a DJ TLM. I had in the studio, and he agrees. Are you referring to the 12s? Which ones are you referring to? I had the 12s. I don't have a problem with the 12s. I think we're talking about the 12s. I honestly did not have a problem at all. So I don't know what way too loose means because mine were not way too loose. The only problem with the 12s is typically, depending on which software you use. The only thing I don't like about any like motorized turntables, especially if you're using certain programs, because there's no relative pitch. And if I go to a deck and I load something up, I want it to be at the pitch that it's intended. What that means is, the SC6000s. Oh, I wasn't even talking about the SC6000s ever. But you're not wrong. I think the Denons are fine, but yeah, I would not personally own them, even though they're good. But I would, if that were the case, I would just go turntables. I would just go Rain or PLXs or something like that. Okay, let's see here, because that's what Brandon asked later on. See, you're jumping ahead. Have you had any playtime on them? Yes, I've used them both. They're fine. They are fine. They do the job. But I mean, Mojax loves his. I just, for me, I would just go turntables. That's just my thing at that point. Okay. Let's see here. All right, let's go to, I'm just going to plug in my HDMI cord real quick. So let me just pop over to that for half a second here. Hold on.
This is a journey into sound. This is a journey. This is a journey into sound. Sound.
All right. I am so out of it here that, like I said before, I just got my table up. This is a brand new table. It's bigger, it's wider. Now I can have my microphone in the proper place versus where it was before, which was kind of a nightmare. So, but over the pandemic, you got to do what you got to do. We have 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Okay. Let me show you this real quick. Hopefully it works. This may not work today. This may not work today because, like I said, nothing is set up right now. In fact, I know why it doesn't work, because there's nothing plugged in. All right. That's what happens when you completely take a desk out. So that's not going to happen. So basically, yeah, you need to go into your system preferences, then head over to your, I believe it's security and privacy. I think it's in general. I think it's security and privacy. I can't even get through this right now. Nothing's going to work. So sorry. Maybe you just, it's on the Serato website, on the Serato forums. There's a full on thing exactly on what to do. So just go to Serato and then just type in driver not working or something like that, and it'll pop up. Okay. Shout out from Oxnard, California. What's going on? Good to see you. Mac Attack says Mojack is great, but he do not do the wiki on the platter. That is actually incorrect. Mojack is actually a very good DJ, and he's a really decent turntablist. He's got some skills. So he might be doing a whole bunch of, house music, but the man can DJ and the man can scratch. So don't get it twisted. Okay. Yoshi in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. All right. How do you move a song from external drive to a crate? When I disconnect the hard drive, the song disappears. Well, of course, that makes perfect sense, Benny, because it's remembering the location of the place. You have to pull it into your local first and then bring it into the computer, into your deck, and then it will remember. Okay. But I'm sure Mixmaster did say that. You mentioned that you've used PA mixers. How do you handle the multiple mics at weddings, events, all the mics into the controller? Well, that's a different thing completely. You see, there's a piece of equipment for every situation. Okay. So I know a lot of people think there's one and all. If I'm not doing a ceremony, I don't need to bring a mixer, because all of my controllers, all of my turntable mixers, they all have 2 inputs. So if I need to rock 2 mics, I can do that. Also, a lot of these microphones now have multiple microphones that you can patch into one input. So, even Shure has it now. Shure has it. The company that I also use, I can't remember the name right now, but their microphones, it comes with 2. They even have up to 4. So you don't actually need a mixer just for that. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah. Comment on the new DJ speakers. I did, Positive T. I made a whole video about it. Don't you remember? Final review will come out next week when I'm going to use, well, at least one part. I'm going to use the 15s and the 12s this weekend on a party. And then I'm going to use the 18s on the following party. And then that'll be it. Phoenix, thank you very much. Phoenix Pro. Yeah. I'll hit you up on, no, I'm not going to walk you through it. Tensei, you have to do some work on your own. I'm telling you where to get the information. This is like me. Look, I can walk you through it and show you. I would rather teach you. And if you fish for that person, what's that thing? You teach a man to fish and he'll live forever. I'm teaching you how to fish. So I'm telling you what you need. Take that. If you still can't get it, fine. But I'm not the only person. There's tons of resources out there. And, you could hit me up on IG and I may not be around for a while. I'm running around. I'm very, very busy sometimes. So I don't have time to always get on IG, and my answers might take, 2 to 3 days. Wouldn't you rather have it right after you end the show? I mean, come on, man. Come on. There you go. Mixmaster just nailed you. Right there. Okay. Yeah, that driver is allowed to run. This is like the key here. Because it's usually a little click and then you have to put in your password to get through it. Okay. The Rev 7 has 2 microphone inputs. I know, Ivan. Okay. I just bought the SLX dual unit for that. Yep, perfect. I use a mixer. We have a lot of subs and want more power. I use a mixer if I have a lot of subs and want more power. What does power have to do with your mixer? No power coming from your mixer, unless you're talking about phantom power. And all subs can be daisy chained, so that still doesn't require a mixer. All highs can be daisy chained. Still doesn't require a mixer. I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong. I'm just saying the mixer is not the answer for it all. Okay. Which is better, Airstream DJ or Sound Switch for a mobile DJ? Derek Rose. Such a good basketball player. What happened? Here you go. Yes. Hold on. Okay. So, found out my time has changed, which means that today, right now, is the time I have to go. So, can't answer any more questions. I'm sorry. That's what happens when these things happen up. So, what might happen today? You know what? I think this will happen. So I have to do this for, about 30 minutes or so. I might come back on. I don't feel like you guys got enough. I might come back on today. So remember all your questions, because I do have to run and take some pictures and I need this camera to do so. So, I gotta go. Thanks for hanging out today. I will see you guys at, maybe in an hour. So if you guys are around, yeah, the after party. I'd like that. I like that. So we will see everybody soon. Enjoy your day. I gotta run. Peace out.